Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and welcome to my day 2 discoveries for the Sentinel League. So there has been an absolutely metric ton of discoveries today, and overall there's just a lot to get through. So we're just going to focus on one part of Sentinel League, which I think I've got, a pretty good grasp on now, and that is going to be how you guys can get really good Sentinels to run all the time. So right now you can see here I'm running this triple reward one with currency tier 1, and I'm also running one, that one's trash actually, don't look at that. But I have a stash tab here of, pretty good ones. So you got Ritual, you got Sentinel, Divination, all of these things. How can you have a stash tab which is nice and ready and organized and got all these good ones that you can just pop and always have something good at which you can look forward to from your Sentinels? Well, we're going to go through the system. There's a bunch of REGEX, which are basically cheap ways to kind of find stuff in stashes, which I'm going to give you. And we're basically going to go through a Sentinel stash cleanup with Grimro. But first, if you're doing it already, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do, as I mentioned in my previous video, is take the specific node here on the tree. So found normal rarity Sentinels are upgraded to magic rarity. This is pretty important. Now it's a little bit bugged. You still can get normal rarity Sentinels for some reason, but most of them are going to be magic. And as you're mapping, you're going to get an absolutely massive amount of Sentinels. You're going to get tons, and you need to pick them all up if you want to be able to get a chance at having some of the really good ones. So you're going to end up with a Sentinel locker that looks like this, and also a few quad tabs that look like this. Now, if you don't have quad tabs, you'll just have to go through this process a little bit more often. But if you do, then it'll probably just look exactly like what you're seeing here. Now, overall, as I mentioned, pick up all the Sentinels, but most players right now, from what I can see, are only running 2 of the colors. They're either running red and blue, or they're running red and yellow. So you can probably try and ignore or just, get rid of all of the color that you're not running, as that'll make things a whole lot easier overall in the long run. So for me, I would just get rid of all the yellow ones. But anyway. Okay, so you've got this massive stash. What is step 1? Well, step 1 is to get a whole bunch of ID scrolls, and you're gonna go ahead and ID them all. So we're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna make you sit here with me so we can do it together. We're basically gonna do a full cleanup of my Sentinel stash here, and I'm gonna show you how to get to the point in which they're all sorted very nicely. You've only got good ones, and all the rest are gone. It might take a few minutes, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run because you guys will have tons of good Sentinels to use overall. So while I'm doing this, I will quickly explain. There are 5 base types for each of the Sentinels that can be found in maps. And we've determined that 2 of them, I'm working with my buddy Firegrass to figure this out, 2 of them are actually really, really bad. You don't ever want to run them, even if they have good mods on them. However, the other 3 are pretty good. And this is going to be pretty impactful later when we get to what I like to call grafting Sentinel mods off of bad bases and trying to get them onto good ones. But we'll have to get to that in a second here. So we're going through. Now we're going to identify the Sentinel locker. I'm going to skip the yellow ones here because I don't actually use those at the moment. And now we've done all the identifying. Okay, so the first step here is to take a look at my REGEX here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is type in reward to your thing here. So when you type in reward, that's going to give you a search here which only shows Sentinels which can manipulate the reward tile mechanic of the actual of the Sentinel mechanic. So you can see here this one shows chance to get jewelry. This one has currency. This one has jewelry. And it's basically going to show all of the Sentinels with that. Now, overall, it's true that you may lose a few good increased item quantity Sentinels and stuff like that using the strategy I'm about to employ here, but you just get so many that I wouldn't be too worried about it. You're just trying to get really good ones to use for yourself. I don't think too many people are going to be trading Sentinels for stuff like increased item quantity, so I don't think you're going to be losing too much by following this strategy. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pull out all of the Sentinels which have the reward text on them, and you want to put them in a separate tab. And that's going to be the first thing we're going to do here. And pulling them all out, you can see we have quite a lot here that we're going through. Oh my goodness, look at them all in here. This might take a few minutes. Anyway, we'll pull them all out here. Grabbing all these blue and red ones here. You can see all the different base types as well. There's quite a few of them here that we have a good mix. This will be really good for when I show off the grafting of the Sentinel. Oh, we've got a unique one there. Pretty good. Don't have any in there. Looks like we're good to go. All those are on the yellow ones. So now we're just going to quickly go and jump in the Sentinel locker, do the same thing, type in reward, much less here. Not too bad there. Okay, so, oops. accidentally just put some in here. All right, so put them in the tab. I think we had one more in here to grab. Reward, yep, one more there. And now the next part is to use the next step of my regex, which is that you're going to type in this: Jewelry, Armor, Weapon, Gem, Unique, Essence, and Abyss. So I've looked through all of the rewards here, and I have singled out that these rewards here aren't really too worth your time to have on your Sentinel. However, all the rest are actually pretty damn good, and I think that they're definitely worth running. So I've made a regex, which is essentially something that you can copy and paste into the search window, and it's going to highlight all of the Sentinels which have these specific words in them. So if I put them in here, you can see here that a bunch get highlighted. So you can see this one's got jewelry, this one's got jewelry as well, weapon, armor. And what you want to do is go through and make sure that you take a look at these. So this one's got jewelry and delirium. So this one's actually okay. We're going to leave this one here. But if it's just got any of the ones that are listed here, so it's just got abyss, essence, armor, jewelry, you want to pull it out because you're not going to want to use that one. So it might take a few seconds. This one's got divination. We'll leave that one in there. Weapon, jewelry, pull these all out. Yep, those can all go. Pull that out. Yep. And we're just going to vendor these. I just vendor it. Now it's worth noting though, that if you get 5 Sentinels of the same type and rarity and you vendor them to the vendor, you can actually get a new Sentinel to use. However, the problem with this is that you just get so many that that's actually not really worth doing. So overall, I don't recommend that. I just recommend vendoring the bad ones. So we're going to go through here a bit more. Unique, we don't want that. Jewelry, I think this one also had just unique. Oh, let's get divination on it. Armor, let's go divination, jewelry, weapon, armor, and jewelry. And I think this one up here has weapon. Yep, okay, so those are now all removed. Okay, so there's one more step here that we need to do before we can get to actually seeing what we've got. So the next thing you want to do is copy and paste this specific line of text here, increase chance to add, or you can type it in yourself. And this is going to highlight some more Sentinels which just have this modifier on here, increase chance to add rewards. Now this is a really good mod, don't get me wrong, it's good. However, we don't want it just by itself. We'd much prefer to run a currency Sentinel or something along those lines. It's really good when it's just on a Sentinel with that already, but overall we don't just want that, because all that is an 18% more loot multiplier, which is good. However, it's not as good as adding a ton of currency nodes per map. So we're going to grab all those out, check them, make sure they don't have anything good on them as well. Grab all them out real quick, because that one's got ritual on there as well, so we don't want to remove that one. So we got this one, which is just adds rewards. Yep, pull that one out, and then that one's got currency on it, so we'll keep that one. Okay, so you vendor all them, get rid of all them, and now we're at the point where we've pretty much got a tab full of pretty damn good Stalker and Pandemonium Sentinels. Now, the next step is going to be making sure that we don't have any bad base types, because if you look between the base types, let me find a really bad base type here. Do we have any of the bronze one? So I don't have any. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my notepad. That's Photoshop. That's not what we want. So the next thing you want to do is grab this regex here, bronze and cobalt. Okay, so you can see here we've got a Cobalt Sentinel here. So if you compare a Cobalt Sentinel to some of the really good ones, so you can see here, this is a Obsidian, which is the best base type that you can get naturally from maps. So the Obsidian empowers 100 enemies, and the Cobalt only empowers 30. And now that is a 3 times difference. So if you, example, had the same mod on a Pandemonium and the same mod on a Cobalt, the Obsidian version of it would literally be over 300% better. So that is just ridiculous. And essentially this creates a scenario in which you would never want to run a lower base type Sentinel, just because it's just never going to be worth your time. You're wasting your time. Sentinel is so rewarding that you don't want to be running Cobalt, even though I'm running a Cobalt right now. That's a mistake. We don't want to run that. So overall, you'd prefer not to ever run Cobalt. So what you're going to do here is use this regex here, and you're going to come in here. I'm actually just going to delete that one, that sucks. You're going to come in here, and you're going to use that here, and you're going to look for any which don't have a good base type. So this one here and this one here. So we got a Cobalt, and we got another Cobalt here. Now these ones, they're not wasted. You still want to use them. And what we're going to do here is a process what I like to call grafting modifiers. Okay, so what we're looking for here is to try and get these modifiers on a better base. So what we want is Obsidian. That is the best base. So we're going to take a look here, and we're going to try and find one that we can paste this onto here. This one looks pretty good here. So we're going to grab this Obsidian Sentinel and this Cobalt Sentinel, and we're going to power core them together, and hopefully we end up with the ritual rewards on the Obsidian base. So we actually do have the obsidian, and unfortunately we lost the ritual mod, so that is going to be going goodbye, but that's okay. We can try this next one. It's better than to try this than not try it. Do we have any obsidians in here? Here's an obsidian here. I'm just going to look for one which has low mods. You don't want to find one which is rare. When you're combining in this step here, try and do magic. And we'll explain that in a future video. But it's fair to say the combination of them is another kettle of fish altogether. So I'm going to use this actual white one here. I'm going to try this one. I haven't tried using the white ones in combos yet. We'll see if we can kind of do it here. Okay, we got another cobalt. So we're going to have to merge this one once again. Even though we did keep the fossil, we'll have to go again, unfortunately, until we can get it on the obsidian base. So we'll go like this, power cores. Looks like we got cobalt again, and it looks like we may have lost our mod here. Oh no, we still have it, so we're going to go again until we can get it on the obsidian. We're looking for something which is reasonable. I guess we can do this one here. So we're going to go bing bang boom, assemble. Okay, we finally got on the obsidian. Did we lose our mod though? It looks like we may have. We lost the mod. Unlucky. Okay. So overall, that's kind of how you're going to get to the place in which you have a really good stash tab of good bases and actually good rewards. So now if we type in currency here, you can see here we have a bunch of Sentinels with like currency rewards and stuff like that on it. It's pretty good. Do we have any scarabs? We actually have a scarab one. That's pretty damn good. So we have scarabs, we have currency, we got like stuff like fossils maybe. I'll go down with ritual. We got ritual ones. So now you have a tab of like really, really good Sentinels that you can use, and as you use them they will become depleted. Don't throw them away, keep them over here. We're gonna try and figure out how to do this the best way possible, but in the future there'll be another video on combining them. Now overall that's got a lot to do with, like, there's a lot of stuff to unpack with the combination, but this is how to get good Sentinels consistently from your maps, and it's going to be a sorting process. So all these other Sentinels in these quad tabs, I'm going to vendor them all. Yes, it might take you 10 minutes, but now you have a bunch of Sentinels for the rest of your like 200 maps or something that you're going to do, which is pretty good. You can kind of pick and choose. They're all good bases. They're all good mods. You're going to get a lot more currency per hour from the Sentinel mechanic using this strategy. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to quickly round out with a few changes that I did to my Sentinel tree, and then I'll let you guys go on your merry way. Okay, so discoveries. So it turns out that recombinators are actually really, really common as long as you take the following nodes on the tree. And it's also worth noting that recombinators right now are worth anywhere between 5 to 10 chaos. And I expect them to go up as more players get into endgame crafting. You generally get a recombinator every other map. Sometimes you get 2, sometimes you get 1, you know. And also you get a ton more power cores when you take the following nodes, which I'm about to talk to you about, which overall makes them worth it in my opinion. So it's overall 3 points to get the following. So you're going to put 3 points down here. So you can get 15% chance that rewards are like to be to Sentinel here, another 30% here, and another 15% there. That's a total of 60% increased chance for the rewards that you get to be Sentinel. And Sentinel, in my opinion, is one of the best types of rewards because again, you can get power cores, you can get the recombinators, which you get quite a lot of, and then you can also get more Sentinels, which will feed more into getting guaranteed rewards of the ones that you want, which is good, of course. And then the other change that I made here was to kind of adjust my pathing a little bit, but it's fair to say I'm still focusing on making sure that my Stalker Sentinel fires really, really well, and I'm also focusing on my Pandemonium Sentinel being really, really strong. And I'm picking up everything which I think is worth it still. A few people asked me in my previous video why I don't take this one here. I think it's completely fine, but it does take 2 points, and I really, really don't want to drop anything else from my tree right now because overall I really like the way it functions. And there's a bunch of small nodes here as well that you're definitely going to want to look at picking up. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Stalker Sentinels have a 10% increased chance to add rewards. This one here is really impactful. Ideally, you'd be able to get this one here too, but overall, it is so stretched on points on the tree, it can be a little bit challenging. I'd also really love to grab this one here for the Pandemonium Sentinels. I do also have one additional note here to kind of go over, and I wanted to show you guys this in game. Is this a different one here? So we'll quickly just jump in a map. I'm going to not do a T14 plus because I'm currently farming insane amounts of Eldritch Altars, and that can be a little bit dangerous with the Sentinels. So we'll quickly jump in here, and I'll show you guys what I mean. And it's actually pertaining to the use of the blue Sentinel because I realized something quite important. So you'll notice that this one empowers 105 enemies. Now, it's actually quite unlikely that a strongbox is going to have 105 enemies in it. So if you're actually kind of confident in your gameplay, you can actually just kind of run around and rodeo herd up a bunch of mobs. You're looking for like something like this here. Oh man, that was actually pretty close. and then you like gonna grab it like that, and you can empower a lot more mobs if you rodeo herd them all together. And you can see here that you'll get like quite a lot of more loot. You want to make sure that you're always empowering as many mobs as possible. That is the aim of the game here. And you want to like kind of like, generally I like to just like map normally until I think I find a big pack. So that one's not big enough. You know, we could, yeah, this one's looking pretty good here. So we're gonna go pop that there. Hello. All right, there we go. And we'll pump all these mobs here. It can be a little bit dangerous. Actually, it's incredibly dangerous because you're letting the mobs hit you. But overall, that's kind of going to be the approach here. You know, overall, you're gonna, oh my goodness, that is not good. But anyway, die into the strong box there, but you know, it is what it is. That's how it goes. That's kind of going to be the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, cheers.